Hey, we're at Ebenfeld. We're about to start a tutorial. I'm super excited. This will be what you do pretty much whenever you get here for rehearsal in the morning, on Sunday mornings. So, let's get started. We'll come in here. This is the sound booth in the sanctuary. This is the sanctuary, right? You get the comfy chair for the sound person. This will be covered after every Sunday. So you just uncover it. There's no complex measures there. And you go over to the switch here and turn it on. You hear a lot of clicks and whirs and buzzes, and the whole system boots up. Next, we'll look at how to recall previous settings. So here's a wide shot of the right side of the Behringer board. You're going to go to View, this button right here, and the screen will change. You'll go in, you'll dial in on whatever settings you would like to recall. For instance, this is February 21st, 2021. I'll go to that, and you'll see that all the sliders, the faders, change their measures for that day. Again, here's a closer view. You go over to View, Scenes, and it'll bring you up to this screen over here. And you'll go, slide around, and select whatever settings you had saved before. In order to save something, you'll have to select this. So if I wanted to change, perhaps, move the drums VCA up, we'll go over here and save. Save. Yes. So whenever I recall that setting, you'll see the VCA is recalled to where I set it. Here it is just one more time to nail it in. So over here you'll see View under Scenes, and this screen will change. You'll scroll up or down based on whatever scene you're going to recall. You press this in, it changes the settings. To exit, you'll just push View again, and that will no longer light up, and you'll be at your regular screen. That was just a quick glimpse at recalling what you've already set in previous rehearsals. You can use that pretty much at the beginning of every new rehearsal that you are scheduled for. The next thing we'll look at is changing levels of instruments in sound. Let's take a look. There are a couple different ways you can use to change the volume coming out of certain instruments. One, the simplest, the quickest, is just simply to move the slider up and down. What we really want is to keep the slider at 0 because it's equilibrium. Whenever you move the slider, you need to move it in slow increments because every -5, -10, all of these are exponential levels of decibels. So when you push it down halfway, you're going to get a quarter of the sound that you had before, and so on and so forth, until negative infinity over here. You love to have it at 0. Therefore, the primary way you should change sound once it is balanced here is to select the channel and change the gain. The gain setup is over in this corner right here. You're going to look at the gain. It has LED lights that show its levels, and you can turn the knob this way or that way to increase or decrease. Here again is a closer view of what we're doing here. So you go to whatever channel you'd like to increase or decrease. This is channel 8. The voice, it looks like. But you also have keys here, acoustic guitar. Each of these will be labeled, so you won't need to scramble around to find which channel it is. So you just decrease on the fader just a little bit. What you do is you take your finger and you roll it down until you get the sound that you like. You can also go from below, just roll your finger up. That'll be the easiest way to change it incrementally rather than dramatically. You can also, whenever channel 8 would be at equilibrium, you can select channel 8 by going above it, pressing select. That green button will light up, and then you go up to the upper right hand of the board, and you'll see gain. Gain is basically whatever sound is being pulled out of the diaphragm of the microphone, or in the case of an instrument, it would be the amount of sound that is being pushed to the soundboard or pulled from the soundboard. So you want to move this very slightly, and you can hear pretty dramatic increases. If you turn the gain too high, you'll hear that whining sound. So you don't want it too high, you don't want it too low. You want it just right. Just for the sake of dramatic repetition, here is how to increase or decrease the volume on a certain voice or monitor. You can use the slider, the fader is also called, to increase, decrease, or increase very slightly. But we'd love to have this at 0, equilibrium, as much as we can. Another thing you can do, you can go to the channel, you follow it up in a straight line, you select. That light will glow green, and you go up to the upper left-hand corner to gain, and you can turn this knob up here. We just learned how to modify volume in the general aspect for certain channels, specific channels. Next, we'll look at how to increase one in a specific output. For instance, a monitor on the stage, or the mains, something like that. Let's get started. So this is your whole soundboard. Typically, you'll see the soundboard divided into 2 main groups of faders. You have this group of faders here. This is 16 channels. And then on the right side of the buttons, you'll see another group of 8 channels here, 8 or 9. This far right channel are the mains. Those are where you want the primary sound to come from. And then here you'll see other channels with different labels. What we have on the first group of DCAs are instrumentalists, vocalists, drums, and then the whole band. These are not monitors. If you'll select them, you'll see that a whole row of lights on the other side show up. That means that is actually a group of channels, and you'll be turning them all up the same way or down the same way. So you have all your instrumentalists, which would be actually over here, your acoustic guitar, channel 10, you'll have your keys, piano, bass, all that sort of thing. You also have the bass here, channel 24. These are not your monitors. So whenever you're trying to change some channel in a monitor, that's not how you do it. But this, if you'll notice, has different channels in it as you push the different buttons. So this holds 4 groups of 8 different options. The mains never change. They're on their own line. Here, in this second group bus 1 through 8, you'll see mon keys, mon lead, mon, and mon drum. This is where you change what is going into the monitors. So what you do to change what's coming through a monitor, you select at the top, and then you send on fader. So here on this left side, you'll see the 16 channels have changed because different sounds are going into the keys monitor than are going through the other monitors and even the mains. Make sure you don't repress send on fader because that'll just go back to whatever's in the mains. What you want to see is the sends on fader light blinking. That means it's enabled. It's sending whatever is here, selected, to the faders so you can modify that sound going in. So say that our keyboard player wants more acoustic guitar in their monitor. This is not at equilibrium, so we can feel free to increase that there. You'll check with the keyboard player and see if that's enough sound going in. And if they say yes, then you can stop and you can undo that send on fader and select the monitors, the mains again. But if they want more, then you just continue to increase. You'll notice that there are red buttons here. That means in this monitor, those channels are muted. So this should be the first thing you look at. If they ask for more piano, then you'll see that the piano is muted in that monitor. So you'll press the button, it's no longer muted. They should be able to hear what's coming out of the piano. Now that was pretty quick. Let's look through it again in a closer zoom. So when somebody wants more in their monitor, make sure that you're looking at the monitors and not the DCAs. So in order to go to the monitors, you'll go to bus 1 through 8, select it, make sure that light is on. You'll know you're on the right page because it'll say mon keys, mon lead, mon drum. So if the drummer wants you to change what's in his monitor, you're going to go to the drum line, you'll go up to select, press that button, you'll push send on fader, it's going to flash, that means it's working. You're going to go over here, all of the lines, the faders, will have changed to what the monitor is listening for, it's outputting. So if the drummer wants more acoustic guitar, it's pretty high right there, so we might actually decrease that and select that channel and maybe increase the gain on that. So here we are again for a third time showing how to change the channels in a monitor. These, on the first group, you'll see instrumental, vocals, drums, band. It'll be easy to think that those are monitors because they're right there. But in order to get to the monitors, you have to go to the second channel, second line of buses. You'll see mon keys, mon lead, mon drum. Those mean monitors. Those are talking about the monitors specifically on the stage. You'll select whatever monitor you're wishing to modify, and you will press send on fader. That will blink. That means you are sending whatever is selected to this side of the board. Here, you will select whatever channel is needed in that monitor. Let's say they want more voice. For instance, this one's muted. Unmute that, and then the drummer should be able to hear their voice. If not, you can increase their level on the fader. And same with something that's not muted. You would just increase incrementally like we learned before. So that's how you change sound coming into a monitor and output, anything like that. Let's look at how to record services. The only thing you need to know about recording is that you only record during the service. Whenever prelude is starting, you probably should go over to your recorder, which is over here right beside your screen. It should have a USB drive in it. Otherwise, it won't have anything to record to. You'll press View, and that will change whatever you're seeing on the screen here. You want to scroll down, but you see that you have different commands here. You'll have stop, play or pause, rewind, fast forward, and record. At the beginning of services, you'll want to press record, and you'll see that these wheels start to turn, just like you would see on a cassette player, only this is digital. You can also play back recordings, as you've seen. We're not going to do that today. I know that was pretty quick, but if you need to refresh some of that tutorial, feel free to go back and watch it again. These will also be uploaded individually, so you can see the individual videos and be able to rewind the whole way and see detailed thoughts and ideas of how to do whatever you're wanting to do on the soundboard. Lastly, we'll look over turning the soundboard off, what you should do after the service every Sunday. Let's get into that. First of all, at the end of a service, you need to make sure you've stopped recording. So you need to click View on the recorder, and if the lines are still turning here, that means it's still recording. You need to push this button to record, push this button to stop. In order to stop recording, you just need to push this button right there to stop. At the end of a service, you need to stop the recording. So you need to click View over here, make sure this is still plugged in, and you need to push Stop on the recording. Otherwise, we won't be able to use the audio. So make sure you always stop the recording before you turn off the board. Also, what you need to do, you need to go to Scenes like we did before at the beginning of rehearsal. You select that, and you go over to the scene that you wish to save. You should save that. You should click on it. You'll be able to rename it right here if you so like. But once you're done, you need to select Save. I'm not going to do that because we're tutorialing, but you need to click this button over here that says Save. You push it in. So let's go over that again. You need to go over to Scenes. You need to select the setting that you wish to save. For instance, February 7th. You need to click Save. Go over here, push the button Save. You select Yes. That means it's all saved. The last thing you need to do, you need to go over here to the outlet and turn the key to the off position. You'll hear a bunch of clicks and the soundboard will go dark. You put the cover on like that, and then you can leave. Just out those doors there. Those are the basics of running a soundboard, all from the soundboard's perspective. Nothing from the stage, nothing complicating anything, just the soundboard. Now, we'll probably do other videos like this in the future, just in case you need to know all of that information. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you check in on this every once in a while, see if there are any updates, so you can learn something.